What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, before we get into today's topic, I want to try out these Creatine Gummies. They were sent to me for free, but I have seen this concept all over online. I'll have these ones specifically linked in the description below if you want to check them out. But essentially, it's what you think it is. It's creatine in gummy form. And I guess the brand's name is Creatine Gummies, and they're just called Creatine Gummies. They smell so good. I definitely think this is a very cool concept because I will pull out my regular creatine and show you guys that it is just in powdery form. Just add it in with my protein shake that I have almost every single day. But this gummy concept obviously seems like such a cool idea. Oh my gosh. These are so good. I love the texture. The flavor is good. I thought it was gonna be like super orangey or something. I don't know what flavor this is, but it is delicious. I love the texture of the gummy too. Wow. Okay, so these definitely passed the taste test. They are so good. Just for context, creatine is one of the most studied and effective supplements out there. Creatine is known for improving strength, increasing your muscle performance, and supporting recovery. It's not just for bodybuilders either. I've also seen recent studies saying creatine really helps with brain health. You don't have to be training intensely in the gym, lifting super heavy weights to get benefits from creatine, like even if you're doing Orangetheory fitness, this is great for you. And guys, I'm telling you, a gummy is way more fun than just adding that powder into my protein drink. Wow. So good. Definitely recommend. As always, I will have it linked down below if you guys want to get some for yourself. Anyways, let's get into today's video topic. Okay, so if you have been watching any of my videos lately, you know that I have been thinking about going back to Orangetheory Fitness. I recently got back into going to Prime Intensity Training, which their location that I'm going to is actually like not even a full mile, I think, down the street from an Orangetheory Fitness. It's really getting me used to going over there and getting out of my comfort zone. I've mentioned before that ever since the pandemic happened, you know, I just kind of like working out at home, especially the apartments that I live in have a gym in them. So sometimes I'm like, okay, why would I drive somewhere, pay extra money, all this stuff, work out? But there are additional benefits from a workout class that you wouldn't get from just working out on your own. And that's what I'm starting to miss. So that was just a little spark notes. But if you want to watch any of my previous videos, you can find me talking more on that topic. When I was doing Orangetheory Fitness, I felt like I always had shin splints or kind of like injuries here and there. And that is playing a little bit of a role in me being a little bit hesitant, you know, dragging my feet in getting back to Orangetheory classes. I don't know if anyone watching this, you know, if you take Orangetheory, if you've ever been injured from class. I know that people I take class with back in the day, like they had been injured, you know, because they had these striders, these machines that people were allowed to use if you were injured, and sometimes people would have to use them because they were injured. So whether that injury was induced from Orangetheory or not, I don't know. I didn't really go ask them the full details, but people do get injured at Orangetheory Fitness. It's nothing like life-threatening. I'm just saying that I know I had really bad shin splints. I was going to class like almost 7 times a week at one point, so that makes sense because you do a lot of running in that class. Either way, Orangetheory Fitness is definitely physically demanding, and I think that it can definitely lead to overuse injuries, which is exactly what it sounds like. Injuries that occur due to overuse of your muscles. When you're doing repetitive movement patterns, especially if they're high intensity, it's common to have overuse injuries. So let's start with the one I talked about at the beginning, which is shin splints. Apparently this can be very common, and I'm not shocked. Shin splints is like a pain that you feel on the inside or the outside of your shin. Right here. But yeah, it's like a sharp, dull pain in your lower legs, and it's basically something that Orangetheory can induce from all the running that they do. You do almost like 2 miles a class easily, and if you are not allowing your legs to have enough time to recover, you're gonna get shin splints, and they are painful, let me tell you. But don't let this scare you. Like, not everyone is doomed to getting shin splints. There's a lot of things that go into that, like your ankle mobility, having tight calves, doing that repetitive movement, obviously, of running a lot on the treadmill. Like, maybe if you're going to class more than 4 times a week, you don't have to run every class. You could do some walking on the treadmill. It's still very effective. It's just not as intense, and it'll give your leg muscles a lot more time to recover. That is something I did not do, and if I had known better when I was younger, I would have done that. You know what I mean? But you know, living and learning over here. It can also happen if your form is off, if you don't have the best shoes. So those are also things to consider. Things like ankle mobility, you'd have to work on tight calves, you'd need to do some stretching. You can make sure you have good shoes. I think that like Hoka's or Brooks or Asics are usually high quality running shoes that most commonly people like to use. If you have your favorite type of running shoe that I didn't mention, drop that below. I do wear Nobles. I don't know why I didn't mention those. Yeah, so rotating your shoes, stretching your calves, working on ankle mobility, and rotating between walking and running at your Orangetheory sessions would definitely help avoid or even alleviate this situation of shin splints. Another injury that tends to come up a lot at Orangetheory is knee pain, and this is not just from one big moment that happens, it's more so from like repetitive movements that you're doing over time. Like in Orangetheory class, you're doing a lot of rowing, lunging, jumping, squatting. Over time, this is taxing on your knees. And if your form is not completely dialed in when you're doing all those movements, which can happen to anyone, especially, you know, I've experienced it before, you know, you can end up having some knee pain. It can also happen if your hips and glutes aren't strong enough to support all the movements that you're doing. There's many mechanical factors that can go into why your body's getting injured from doing certain movements. Knee pain from overuse will usually feel like tightness around the kneecap, or it's painful going up or down steps, things like that. If you are having knee pain or you just want to make sure you're avoiding it, definitely focus on slowing down, keeping your form right, and keeping your body in the correct alignment to make sure you're not executing these exercises in a way that's going to end up injuring your knee because you're not doing the right form. Anyways, jumping into the third type of injury that you could probably get at Orangetheory, which is lower back pain, probably from like the rowing. If you're not doing that right, even though it's supposed to be like a low impact full body movement, you could easily strain your back from rowing. And it's just like a really fast paced environment when you're moving super fast, especially if you're like doing like a run to row, or you're racing against people, or you're working with a partner and you want to be really fast. It's easy to just tweak something, you know what I mean? It's a very fast paced environment. So just try to slow it down and remember that like that pressure is not real. Slow it down if you need to and just focus on your form. Another common injury that I remember having is like your wrists hurting from, you know, having to do things that have you like in a high plank or push-ups, things like that. I mean, if you're just overdoing it or you're doing that every single day, it's gonna hurt. And so a lot of the trends of what I'm talking about here is that overuse, bad form, not stretching, things like that, and also body mechanics that are out of your control. All of those things can contribute to getting an injury, not just at Orangetheory Fitness, but just any type of workout. So the big takeaway here is that injuries at Orangetheory Fitness are common, but they can be preventable. Most of them are not caused by dramatic accidents. They're really just caused by small form breakdowns over time, repeatedly, without enough recovery in between. But being proactive about your shoe choice, your rest and recovery, your form, things like that can definitely help you prevent these types of injuries. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.